Hey, what's up guys? Before we start this video, I want to let you guys know there will be a new promotion that is going on with Team ISDI. So basically this promotion is for people who want to buy a house for the first time. So basically like a first time buyers lah.
Yep, and also if you guys are wondering what's the promo code will be Wello 4000.
Yes.
Why 4000?
Why?
It's because the agent fee will be only at $4,000.
Damn son.
Very cheap guys. And this thing will be up till 30th of June.
Yes.
And it only applies to the first 5 people who use our promo code Wello 4000.
Yes. Let's get it on. Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the one and only Wello Show.
Yeah, do follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel guys.
Let's get it on.
Let's go.
Alright guys, today this is a very very special guest.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is one of our biggest guests ever, you know.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
I'm
ever.
very honored actually.
Same.
We're very honored to introduce
Yeah.
this guy. He's the legendary, the godfather of rap in
The
Malaysia.
president.
Yeah, the president. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Flizzow.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
No problem,
and thank you for the invite.
Thank you for coming.
First and foremost, I would like to congratulate you for your upcoming show on the 5th of July at Star
Alright.
Theatre.
Yeah,
Tickets still available, yeah?
yeah, still available,
Yeah.
and I hope to see you guys there too.
Available
Yeah,
for us?
You know, yeah, no doubt, man. I got you,
Let's go, let's
backstage
go.
passes and all that. You know, what I mean, all access.
Yay.
And
Amazing.
yeah, I feel like you are really an inspiring to all of us, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching right now also. You know, you've been through a lot with your hip hop life, you know, your hip hop journey and everything. I feel like, and hopefully we can cover a lot today. You know,
We'll try.
yeah,
try.
we
Try
got a
our
lot of
best.
questions for you as well. You know?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And okay, firstly I want to ask you, like the name Flizzow, right?
Right,
Where do you get the name Flizzow? Because obviously your name is Johan, right?
Johan. Yeah.
Yeah. No, where the Flizzow coming on?
So Flizzow basically is from the root word flow.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it was given to me by my groupmate, actually, Malik, when I was in Too Fat. And like way before the albums came out.
Well, before we all were born, actually.
Definitely, probably, you know what I mean? Not too long ago.
Not too long ago, okay.
But I think it started like we was in the studio. So how I started my career was actually, I wouldn't say by accident. No, let me take my shades off. The eyes
Let's
never
go.
lie, Chico.
Oh, man,
The
you look
eyes
better.
don't lie. Okay, so I got my boy. His name is Christopher Kang. He's like was my classmate in school since like standard 1, like 7 years old, and you know we grew up together in Subang. That's where I'm from, the neighborhood I'm from. And to cut a long story short, like when we was right after high school, he enrolled into a sound engineering school, SAE, School of Audio Engineering, which was also in Subang. And I think during his first semester, towards the end of the first semester, he needed to hand in an assignment, which was to record, you know, music, like on a small 8-track mixer. And he gave me a call. It's like, yo, Joe, you know, I'm trying to get some rappers in the studio, and you're the only one I know who can rap, right? And I mean, we at this point we had both shared a, you know, common love and passion for hip hop. So me, Malik, and another friend, Kevin, we just, all right, cool. We came through with some instrumentals, and I think over the course of 2-3 days we recorded a few songs, you know, which will become his assignment and would later on become our first demo. You know what I mean? So this guy gets an assignment, we get a demo.
Yeah.
And then we transferred it to a bunch of cassettes, and you know those cassettes got duplicated, and we had a viral moment, if you may. But like throughout the recording session, like I would come with different flows. You know what I mean? Like one day I'll flow like this, the next day I'll flow like that, and you know some days I'm more technical on the bar, and other days I'm a bit more offbeat, like with the rhyme schemes and the patterns, right? And they were just saying like, oh man, your flow is crazy, your flow is crazy. So yeah, man, I feel old when I'm telling this story. But like back in the day, or not even back in the day, like you know how Snoop and his crew talk, like you know, G's up. Oh no. I want to say something, but it's a bit explicit.
Go ahead, please.
But
Please go ahead. Help
No
yourself.
problem, you can say that.
Help yourself.
it's like the Z language kind of, you know, Flizzow. Yo, was it flow? Yo. I can't say what I need to say, but yo, long story short, yeah, it's from flow. You
Then
know,
where
so
do
Flizzow.
where do you actually get your flow? Who inspire you to get your sound? You know?
Your rhythm.
I think just from studying rappers, studying, you know, the greats, I feel like I can't really pinpoint it to one particular rapper, but at an early age, I fell in love with hip hop, like maybe 9, 10 years old. And I fell in love with hip hop from basically just going through my uncle's collection of CDs and cassettes. So I have an uncle, Uncle Aman, who would later on become, you know, our first manager, and then he managed me for the first 5 years of my career. And you know, I come from a very musically inclined family, and I'm one of the older cousins, so I'm always trying to I'm like a 9-year-old kid thinking I'm like 20 years old, you know, and like, you know, like back in the day, you know, this was before Spotify, before like YouTube, before everything, right? If you had a house party, you know, somebody had to be in charge of the music. You know, so my uncle would always come through with his like he had like always had the banging like latest hi-fi set, you know, so he'll come through with the like a CD cassette player. And, you know, whether it was like a birthday party, you know, you play musical chairs for the kids, somebody got to be controlling the music, right? So it was always him. And kalau macam hari raya, you know, kalau nak, you know, orang tengah kemas rumah, cat dinding, pasang langsir, you know, there'll always be music. So we'll always have a music corner. And I think one way of trying to like, orang Johor cakap mengelat, you know, like trying to like, not do the chores and not do the housework, I'll always be like, okay, God, let me help you with the music. You know what I mean? And he had a massive collection of all sorts of music, like R&B, like you name it, like Malaysian music, and also a lot of hip hop as well. So going through his CDs at a young age, at like 9, 10 years old, I was firstly attracted to or drawn to like hip hop cassettes and CDs, simply because like, you know, the fashion was different, you know, the cover art was always like different, you know, it was always like loud. And you know, I remember one of the first CDs I picked up was an LL Cool J CD, and he was posing with a big dookie chain, like rope chain with a panther. It's like, yo, how come this homie got a panther on his, like, why? So then I started listening to the tracks, and you know, obviously beats are infectious, but also the subject matter, you know, I'm like, yo, hip hop, like rap, they're talking about some wild shit, you know what I mean? Like, and for a 9-year-old, it's like, right. Wow, this was like a revelation, right? So then I just became a student. I just became so engrossed in just like, you know, anything I could get my hands on, I would just like try to study and dissect. And that's it. Like by the age of 10, 11 years old, I was already rapping. Like 12 years old, I was already on stage. And it was just like that. It was just like a hobby type thing. Yeah, that's it. But I would think like it wasn't until the age of 13 that I really like started zoning in, you know. And hip hop just became my best friend. You know, when you're like 13, 14 years old, you're like trying to figure life out. You're trying to be like, you know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I was an awkward kid at school. I was pretty, you know,
cool kid.
I was pretty.
Sociable?
I wouldn't say cool. Maybe, I don't know, but you know, I played sports. I was very active,
Involved.
But at the same time, like, you know, I just found something, you know, with music, like not just hip hop, just everything. Yeah.
And when you were 13, like considering you had all these passions back then, did you envision yourself already in the future, like having this career, or was it something that was just a hobby and you know, it was just like, let's see where it goes, but you never had the goal of becoming what you are today?
So in school, again, like, I was a bit jahat lah in school, you know, but at the same time, I was involved in, like, you know, a lot of, like, what do you call, clubs and social clubs, and there was one particular club, like Leo Club. I don't know if you have it in Singapore,
clubs at
but
13?
like you know, like extracurricular clubs, you know what I mean?
Okay.
No.
CCA.
No,
Wait,
those
what?
clubs maybe
Not yet, yeah.
15.
Okay. Almost there.
I started hitting the clubs early too, but like, I would represent school at, like, you know, I would perform.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, like you'll have like proms or, you know, IU parties. What does IU stand for? International Unity, maybe. And I would always try to, like, you know, get involved, you know. And after performing like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows, I'm like, I started having it in my head, like, I think I'm pretty good at this. But I also kept telling people, like, yo, I'm the best. You know, it was like, for real, like at 15,
Really?
16 years old, yeah, I was already looking at rappers that was already, you know, out there with albums and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm better than this guy.
How do you know that? Like, what made you feel like you are better?
Because I was.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, I don't know. I just thought, like, okay, this is something I'm good at. You get what I mean? Like, like, I played football for school, like, from the age of 9 till all the way till high school, 17, but I was always on the reserves. I was always the last, like, 3 kids to get selected, you know what I mean? Like, every time there's selection, I'm, like, chilling in the corner. I'm like, man, I'm not going to make the cut this year. And then, like, you know, finally, okay, Johan, Isha, oh, I made it. You know, like probably, like, out of the 18 person people squad, I'll probably be like the 15th to get selected, you know what I mean? Like, type thing. But, like, you know, and also with other things, like with studies, yeah, I was a top student till I was like maybe 12, 13 years old. And at 13, 14, you know, when we started going to high school, I was like, not really top student, you know, like I was there. But when it came to hip hop, I knew for a fact that, okay, this is like, I'm the best in the entire high school. Like, I mean, there were other kids that used to rap too. You know, like I had other friends that, you know, like hip hop or, you know, but I would always, you know, like you start rapping Snoop tracks, Snoop Dogg, but when it came to like Naughty by Nature or Bone Thugs and Harmony, like the difficulty level starts getting like insane, and all these other kids were like fall back. I can't do that verse, and I'm like, what you talking about? I got this. You know what I mean? So, you know, but
back then hip hop wasn't really a thing like in Malaysia. But how do you like?
Yeah, you're right. Like, if the entire hip hop wasn't like as big of a genre, or like it wasn't, you know, now it's like an industry, right? You know, it's $1 billion industry, right? But back then, no. But I guess the cooler kids, you know, would already be listening to hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have pop R&B groups that would have, like, you know, like a big single might have like a hip hop verse in it, you know, things like that. And I felt special too. That kind of made me feel like, okay,
unique.
Everybody else is listening to Nirvana, which I listen to Nirvana too, or Guns N' Roses or Metallica, but
you're not
like,
me.
I got this Wu-Tang CD, what you know about that? You know, and I felt like it's like a little advantage that I had over everybody else, but yeah.
But I'm quite surprised at the age of 9 to 10 years old, like when you were listening to rap, like the language and everything is like quite
crazy.
explicit,
Bro, just try to look up ISDI Original Gangster. Like, ISDI had a song called Body Bag, bro. And my mom was like, what are you listening to,
that's
man?
right.
This is nuts, bro. It's not, no, bro.
That's right.
This is like super duper, you know, explicit lyrics, parental advisory. You know, like, yeah, you know, some CDs really needed that sign on it. Like back in the day, they would have signs on CDs. Parental advisory, explicit lyrics, right? And I think because my mom and dad, they're both from media. My mom was a journalist entire life, still is a writer, and you know, when she, because sometimes we go back balik kampung.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be sitting up front with my dad, and I'll pop in the cassette, and I'll be trying to control the music. And I was like, what is this? You know, but I think my parents had that conversation with me early. Like they explained to me, like, okay, this is, some of these profanities are used to, not really to just cuss, but also to express certain, you know, emotions. You get what I mean? Yeah. So please don't. If you ever use this language in the house, you're gonna get smacked real quick. You know, like bam. So you know, I knew. No, so that.
And you said you kind of knew.
But at the same, sorry to cut you.
No, go ahead.
Off, but like at the same time, you know, I was also exposed to like, not everything was negative. You got to understand this. Like, a lot of it was positive. Like Tribe Called Quest, you know, NWA. You know what I mean? We're talking about. You know, then you know, Rage Against the Machine, not really hip hop, but still rap. And like for the first time, I'm listening to tracks that talk about oppression. You know, they're representing marginalized communities, and you know, the subject matter is just bigger than music. It's like, wow, this is like really a voice for the peoples, and I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to be that voice too. Whether I knew it or not, yeah. Man, like, but at 15, back to your original question, at what age did I know that I wanted this? I think at 15 or 16 years old, I was like, okay, maybe one day, you know. I used to tell my friends like, yo, one day I'm gonna be a rap star. And my best friends, honestly, they believed in me from day one. They were like, yeah, Joel, you can do it. You know, my homegirls be like, yeah, man, we got you. We're going to be part of your crew. You know, we're going to be part of the entourage.
Let's go.
But, yeah, then fast forward to, you know, cutting our first demo, which was my homeboy's first assignment. After that, things just kind of like started, you know, coming together. Yeah.
When you first start writing your own lyrics, right, do you find it like difficult, or is it just on the go? Like,
no, it was I think kind of difficult. But on the real, like the first song I ever wrote was probably for my girlfriend at that time. You know, like puppy love kind of thing. Like,
what age?
You know, you're my girl, you're the world, kind of like very elementary type raps. You know what I mean? It wasn't until like later that, you know, I felt like, okay, we need to get to a level of, you know, when I recorded my first album, that was when we really, by that time I had surpassed the, you know, they say 10,000 hours, you know, of doing something, that you become good at it, right? I was already into my 15,000 or 30,000 hour of, like, you get what I mean? So it wasn't, I think it came naturally, too, because, again, like, I come from, you know, both my parents were reporters, journalists, you know, my mom's a dope writer, so I always excel in, like, you know, writing essays, and I was already, you know, I was on the debate team, things like that, you know, really? So yeah, nice. Not just debate team, like debate team or perbahasan in when you debate in Malay, it's perbahasan, right? I was also like babalas pantun, I was doing all sides, anything that I was already writing poetry and stuff like that. So when it was time to just like become the MC, you know, I think I was well prepared for it, and I gotta give a shout out to my parents for, you know, for the.
Chinese don't know what's pantun.
Yeah, sorry.
Pantun
what's
is.
That lah? Boleh cakap Melayu.
Poem.
Poem. Oh, okay.
Like poems, poetry. But like pantun comes in like so you have pantun dua kerat, which is essentially 2 lines. 2 sentences. Then you have pantun 4 kerat, then 6 kerat, 8 kerat. So,
that's more.
the most popular pantuns are like 4, 4
Oh, I
So
see.
Gunung Daik bercabang 3, you know, like
Oh, no, I tak tahu. But
something
okay.
like that,
Boleh, boleh.
pantun. But, yeah.
Okay, guys, let's take a break from the podcast for a while. We have a few words from our sponsor. If you guys have not heard about INGENIOUS, INGENIOUS is a place where you guys can make good money and also learn about sales and obviously improve your standard of living, guys.
They also provide sales services, so if there are any companies out there who would like to inquire more about it,
You guys can check them out on Instagram at ingenious_org. Or you guys can also contact them at 878-46102. 878-46102.
Yeah.
So speaking about your parents, I was curious to know, since you said, when you were like 13-ish, you started this whole journey, like how were the reactions of the people around you? Were they supportive or did they doubt you?
My immediate crew, they were supportive, because like again, we were pretty like jahat juga lah, like 15, 16-year-olds sneaking into clubs, trying to, so then, when we go to like, not even clubs, but like tea dances, tea dances.
Oh.
You know what I mean? These days, no, it's called a tea dance, where like the clubs open up for like teenagers, you know what I mean? And it's pretty clean fun, like no alcohol is served, and people just, I don't think it's a thing these days.
I never heard of
but
it.
back in the day, or you had this thing like young people's dance, they call it, like at the local country club, like a hall, they'll book up a hall and the DJ will get on, and it'll always be hip hop, right? So obviously my immediate crew it's like, if you're best friends with a dope dancer, of course you're gonna be proud, right? Like, man, we're gonna throw down. Like my boy got his routine. Like the song come on, like that's it. You're gonna smash everybody. So it's kind of like that, So yeah, I had tremendous support from my immediate group, my best friends who are still my friends until today, and my parents. But I think the reaction from the general, like, my mom, some of the other parents be like, oh my God, Aisha, your son is a rapper. I feel so sorry for you.
Judgmental.
It's okay, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. You got me? Like this is when, like right after high school, like when I was still in college, I kind of cut my first album at the age of 19. So initially, like, other parents would be like, concerned for my well-being. I'm like, yo, go take care of your own kid, man. But like, a year later, I was signing posters for their kids, so it's all good. Let's
go.
You get me?
So besides that, what would you say your struggles are when you are starting this, like, hip hop?
I think just trying to get signed to a label, like, no label really believed in us, So when we did our first album, we were already like 2 years into the scene. We paid our dues for real. Like we really, like, we didn't cut any corners. We didn't, try to fast forward anything. We just started, like we did, again, from graduating from school shows and all that. And, when this cassette got duplicated, eventually, like, it would get into the hands of, like, gig organizers, right? And underground gig organizers, because this is at a time when hip hop wasn't mainstream, like you said earlier. It wasn't mainstream, so it was sort of like a subculture type thing, just the same way, like, grunge gigs were happening, or metal gigs, or punk gigs were happening. Like they were also starting to do hip hop gigs. So we did that for like about 1 year, 2 years, and we started getting a following. We started doing, like, it was all small shows. But when it was time to cut an album, which we started working on this album, and which we shopped it, trying to get a distribution deal, trying to get any type of deal. We knocked on every single door, like all the major labels, like, I won't name names, but every label boss would just sit there in his big chair and be like, ini tak boleh jual. Kau kalau nak jual, kau buat lagu macam gini. You next time you must do like this. I'm like, bro, this guy don't know nothing, right?
Yeah.
So, but it was just that we were persistent. We just kept going, and eventually, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a label called Positive Tone.
Oh, okay.
And Positive Tone was started by, Ama Izamoma, who's actually like one of my mentors, like big brother. And this label was probably one of the few labels that actually believed in local urban, that was what the term that was used back in the day, talent, meaning Malaysian artists that primarily sing in English. You know what I mean? And they had success with, I think the first like breakout artist was this band called OAG, which, legendary like rock grunge band. Then they had success with this R&B group called Innuendo. I think you guys probably know them from the song Belayan Jiwa, right? But they had a dope full English album as well, and another rap group called Poetic Ammo. So we kind of knew that, okay, this is actually where we want to be at. This would be the perfect home for us. And yeah, he was the only person that actually believed in us back in the day, like when it came to major labels, so we ended up there, and then that's it. Yeah.
Remind me of the Kanye documentaries. You know the Kanye?
Yo, that's a dope documentary, man.
Yeah.
Fire.
Speaking of Kanye, what do you think about Kanye in general?
Kanye?
Yeah.
Kanye?
Just curious.
Yo, save Kanye at all costs, man. Like, we gotta protect Kanye. Kanye is the man. Like, he speaks the truth.
Right.
I performed for Kanye. Like, we opened for
Damn.
Kanye, like, way back in 2000. I want to say 2004, 2005. Yeah,
Damn,
he came
son.
to KL, and we was the opening act. Yeah.
Is it the Heartbreak 808 album? He came.
No.
No.
Way before that.
Oh, is it?
It was like probably second album. First album was College Dropout, and then I think
Graduation.
second album was
Graduation.
yeah.
Damn,
Early
son.
Kanye.
That's good.
Kanye is
But I've
one
been a
of-
fan of Kanye like even before that, when
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, releasing his own like bootleg joints, like yeah. So before he got signed,
Wow, damn, son.
when they used to leak, he used to leak his own singles, like I think on Napster or whatever, So
That's the.
yeah, Napster.
Never heard of it. I think I wasn't born.
Napster is probably the reason we have Spotify. So
I see.
it's okay, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, it's
has
like,
your music career affected your personal life, like let's say your
I
family?
wouldn't
or
say it
whatever?
has affected, but because it's both, it's intertwined. You know what I mean? Like I became popular at an early age, and at the same time, like in school, when the teacher used to ask me what you're trying to be when you grow up, I would always say famous. I would say I don't know, cikgu saya tak tahu, tapi saya tahu saya akan jadi famous.
Let's go.
Macam gitu kan. So
What's your teacher respond?
yeah, they laugh. But like 2 years later, they ask for a CD. You know what I mean? Like, no. To be fair, like, yeah, probably the whole class laughed, but you can see when some of them don't. Some of them be like, "Yeah, I'm with you, Joan." You know what I mean? My girlfriends or my homeboys, like, and obviously I had some dope teachers too that actually believed in me, like, that hence. Every time there's a school function, like they be like, "Okay, Joanne, we need you to perform. We need you to represent the school at this thing," and it was like that, So, yeah.
And
Okay, so you?
sorry, like so now that you're at this stage of your career, how does it feel like to be this influential, like compared to
No,
last time?
I mean,
In a way, yes, can't deny.
Yeah.
like so.
Like, what has changed?
Nothing has changed. I think I'm a bit more responsible when it comes to like the things I say, especially on record. Like, because now music is not just now, but I think even more so than back then. Like music is more accessible, right? So you get 3-year-old kids, they know how to choose a song on Spotify. You know what I mean? Like I have, my friends, they have their young children that like, yo, my son can't stop listening to Berlian or sending me videos, which I'm very, very happy to see. But, knowing that my lyrics, people are singing along, and I'm not going to go out there and say some wild things, you know what I mean? I got to be a bit responsible. And for me, I feel like hip hop has to remain as a positive force. You know what I mean? It needs to be the soundtrack of people's lives, but it has to come from a positive place. You know what I mean? Of course, you have certain MCs or rappers in different countries that glorify violence, glorify drugs, but that's not what we're trying to do out here. And for me, with the label, being part of Def Jam Southeast Asia, and now we're signing artists, across the region. We try to instill that, in the whole, to be part of the DNA of what Southeast Asian hip hop is. I mean, if you're coming, obviously we have artists that come from, rough neighborhoods or live the tough life, and when you're talking about, all that craziness, from a storytelling point of view, yeah, fine. But I don't think we're ever gonna go down that path of trying to influence, our listeners to just do the wrong things. I think that's the difference. Early in my career, I say anything.
Yeah.
Especially when we're trying to when we were the underdogs or the unknown cats trying to go for, trying to battle everybody. I went through all that too. Every time I drive past OCK, Old Chunky, in front of Far East Plaza, I remember the times when there used to be a spot for Singapore hip hop. That was to be the meeting point.
Oh, is it?
Before shows, or because a lot of shows used to happen at Youth Park. You get what I mean? And and also before they go to the clubs, everybody would meet there. And the first time we got there, we were brought there by some of the local rappers, and everybody wanted to battle us. So and we had to stand our ground. You had to just when you're in battle mode, you say anything. You say the wildest shit, right? But on wax, on albums, yeah, it's different.
So when you say just now, you got to be careful of what you have to say and everything, right?
I mean, I don't have to be careful, but I want to be careful.
Okay.
Is it part of being older as well? Now you have to be more cautious of the listeners.
No. It's been like that since day one.
Okay.
Since day one, because you have to understand, when we came into the game, everybody was just waiting for us to fail. You know what I mean? And we didn't want to give them reason. So we came into the game media was labeling us as ini budaya barat, bad influence, So we knew that, number one, we needed to make it our own. How do we make Malaysian hip hop? How do we, from now we're the torchbearers, right? From the OGs that came before us, how do we make them proud? And how do we, if an American or a European or somebody not from this part of the world listens to our music, can straight away identify it as that's Asian hip hop, that's Malaysian hip hop. So there are a few ways that we did, that we went about doing that. Number one, we started infusing local and traditional sounds, instruments like gamelan, suruling, whatever, into our sound, and probably the first breakout song was Anak Ayam, which is a song that we sample an old lagu Melayu lama lah. And prior to that, we had a song called Bomo, where we sang a folk song called Ulit Mayang, which is It comes from the East Coast, you know, and it's part of like a ritual or like a, you know, traditional like ritual. But also then, yeah, at the same time, like we made it, we didn't cuss. Like like the first 3-4 albums, like we made it point like, all right, we're gonna keep it clean. You get what I mean? Like I don't. We didn't see a reason to F this and F that, and you know, no. You get what I mean? So, which was, I think, a breath of fresh air too. You know, so now Malaysian parents be like, oh, what you guys listening to this group? What they call Too Fat? Man, let me listen to that CD. And they're like waiting, like song 1, song 2, song 3, song 4, song 5, song 15, like.
Clear.
Oh, clear. You know what I mean? Like, even if we cussed, we would censor or bleep or mute it. You get what I mean? And the only reason we would cuss was again to emphasize a certain emotion. Like if there's anger, like F this. Nah, it's cool. Keep it rolling.
So
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I wanted to ask you just now, like when you say you talk about like the certain, like the way the style of rap, right, and everything, right? So like, you know, nowadays people rap about like drugs and everything. Then like, you know,
I mean, yeah.
Then like the kids who are listening to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They may be.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So do you feel like it's whose fault is that? Like, okay, not fault, but whose responsibility?
I mean, bro, you got to understand, like, for certain people that come from nothing, you get what I mean? And you look in your surroundings, there are no athletes, there are no successful businessmen, there are no successful politicians or like young entrepreneurs. The only guy with money, with nice cars and nice clothes is the drug dealer. No, this is for real.
Yeah,
like you asked me this, right? So for that kid in that environment, I want to be that guy, right? And now that he's got the mic, he'll sing songs to represent that guy, because that guy's gonna give him the money. That guy probably bankrolled his entire first project. You know what I mean? Like if you go to, you know how in Mexico you have all the narcos, you know, the Sinaloa, the cartels, right? They'll invite these bands to sing about them, right? I don't know what they call, like narcos bands or something like that. You know, it's similar to that. You know what I mean? But now, like, so. And at the same time, without saying too much, like you have to understand that on a bigger scale, like TV is programming. It's like some certain forms of entertainment is just meant to keep people dumb, to neutralize or to, you know, silence a voice. You get what I mean? So this particular rapper or this particular subject matter may, yeah, it's okay, let them wait. We're not going anywhere, let them wait. Don't come through and cut in the show, thing like that. Right? Don't do no thing like that, fam.
Okay, I want to ask you, is there any difference between Malaysian rap scene and Singapore rap scene?
No. I mean, again, of course, the difference is, you know, what you're representing or what you're speaking about. Like, a Malaysian rapper wouldn't be rapping about how he grew up in HDB flats, probably. But then again, we also have flats, you know. So, yeah, I think the difference is just that. The difference would be, you know, what is current, you know, or like, I don't know, like political situations maybe. I think, end of the day, I think MCs will be like also like street reporters, like what's going on, you know, if there's this problem with whatever, you know, I mean, itu je. Tapi dari segi bunyi, dari segi sound, saya rasa we have more similarities than differences. You get what I mean? Like we share, you know, if you're going to talk about food, we're going to talk about the same kind of food, almost. You know what I mean? Like if other rappers, Japanese rappers talk about sushi or teriyaki boys, talk about teriyaki. We're gonna talk about nasi lemak, right?
Wait, so Singaporean or Malaysian nasi lemak better?
You know the answer.
I don't know.
You definitely
I want to
know
hear
the
from
answer.
Joe Flizzow.
No.
What's the answer? You won't leave until you answer.
Malaysia, get it right. We'll give you a few things. We'll give you chicken rice,
Okay, fine.
rojak. No, for real, like. But having said that, prove me wrong. Bring me to a good one.
I can't.
No, I'm sure. Okay, I'm sure somebody's mother makes some bomb ass nasi lemak here. You know what I mean?
I can't
End of
ask
the
them.
day.
No.
My mother don't make nasi lemak.
Oh,
Okay,
yo.
come through.
Then no
Come
choice
through
now,
to KL,
Malaysia.
I'll bring you. But
Okay.
I'm sure there's a nasi lemak joint here that's good.
I heard a lot about nasi lemak Boon Lay.
Dekat mana tu?
Boon Lay,
Boon Lay eh?
Yes.
Oh,
Jurong
Boon Lay's a
there,
spot,
Jurong.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like nasi lemak Malaysia takes it,
Yeah.
but chicken rice Singapore takes
Singapore lah.
Yeah.
it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Not
for real.
convinced.
Not convinced lah, macam charity lah that one. Boleh lah, you want to take nasi lemak, take lah.
I mean, you guys got to come to KL and go to Bukit Bintang and have this, go to a spot called Nasi Lemak Nasi Ayam Cimeng.
Okay.
You know, so, and the funny thing is, Singaporeans introduced me to this spot in KL. In KL, in particular, my homie J-Boy.
Okay,
Like, for real. So, you know, like, whenever there were hip hop gigs in KL, like we would invite Singaporean groups to come perform too, and Singapore breakers. Like when we was starting out, Singapore already had a very advanced breaking culture. You know, they already had crews like Radical Force were already in existence and already like killing it. Like they would smoke every single Malaysian crew. It wasn't until a bit later that, you know, Malaysians would catch up. So, and also graffiti scene was super advanced. So our first music video, Jezebel, like we had a big piece in the middle of the city, like probably the size of the entire wall, and it was done by, you know, a Singaporean graffiti artist, and fireman, and then also the breakers in the crew were Singaporean breakers. It was Ijat, who's still around now. He's like the rollerblade. He became a rollerblade champion, you know, and represents Singapore X Games and all that. And also Sunny is passed away, rest in peace. But my boy J-Boy was like, yo, because he came first day and was like, yeah, man, y'all need some breakers. I'm going to call my boys, come down. So every time there was a gig, like this Singapore crew would come down like satu bus, you know, and they always stay in Bukit Bintang. And one day J-Boy was like, hey, lu kena makan ni tempat. I was like, mana sih? Ni tempat ni memang gila punya nasi ayam, yang gila, nasi cimeng, and it's still there. So I'm like, okay, so I go there. I'm like, because as a Malaysian or as somebody from KL, you know, certain areas we avoid. Like Bukit Bintang is one area we don't really chill out at because it's like a tourist spot. You know, like what am I doing here? This tourist spot. So as a result, we also don't know tempat ni ada ni, tempat ni ada ni, hotel ni murah ke, tempat ni sedap ke, mana kita tahu kan. So yeah, so I'm not saying, yo, it's better than everything else, but it's different. It's different.
The only, I think one of the best nasi lemak we try is nasi lemak Wanjo.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Okay, that one like typical.
yeah, no, it's not typical. Like Kampung Baru has two nasi lemak spots, Wanjo and nasi lemak antarabangsa.
Okay.
So if you from KL, you be like, yo, you like this one or that one? Like I'm part of the other crew.
The other side.
I'm gua side lain lah. Gua nasi lemak antarabangsa punya side lah, right? But Wanjo is crazy. Like there's always a line.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
I wanted to ask you about the music. Do you feel pressure not to make better music every time?
No, because I think no, I don't feel that pressure. I feel, and I think yeah, maybe at one point in my career, we were pressured to deliver. At one point in my career, like hits. You know what I mean? Because I think an artist, one way of looking at it is like, you know, you guys watch football, right? So if you talk about a striker, or this striker is good, or this guy power, Zlatan power, memang masih terror. But end of the day, a striker is only as good as his last goal. If he goes 20 games without scoring a goal, man, it might be time to get transferred, or it might be time to get benched, or it might be time to retire. And same thing with music. Like if you release one single, didn't really pan out. 2 singles, 3, man, if you release 10 songs and you don't have one hit, you in trouble.
Yeah.
You got me?
Yeah.
So you'll be like, oh man, like these other crews, they popping. How come my music is not popping?
Something is wrong, lah.
You know, but alhamdulillah, I never really had that problem. Like we always, came with that fire, came with that heat. You know what I mean? And also it's part of, because I work with the best. Like you get me? Like hip hop will always belong. I say this a lot, but hip hop will always belong to the youth, to the youngins. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones with the fire, with the passion, and I've always had that ability to identify who's gonna be the next big thing. Okay, like Sona. Like when Sona he produced maybe 8 songs from my first album. He was an unknown producer at that point in time, and people were like, "Yo, why is Joe Flizzow getting this kid to helm the production of his entire album?" But then, he proved to be a hit maker. Like Aleph, you know what I mean? Like Aleph, way before he wrote for all these artists, he worked with us. You get what I mean? And like Sleek's first single, I jumped on it. Like when they first came into the game, they had a song called The Biscuit, and Aleph was like, "Yo, I need to get you on this song." And I'm like, let me listen to that track. And if I like it, I'll do it. I mean, that's rule of thumb, for collaborations. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, this is fire. Jumped on it and boom. So I think as long as you are not like in your own world, certain artists, they become successful and they like, man, I'm the shit. I don't want to work with nobody else.
Yeah.
But music evolves, fashion, just like fashion evolves too. And as long as you surround yourself with dope people doing dope things, you're going to come out good.
Do we have to be lyrical as well? Or
I mean, if you're not, you can hire me as your ghostwriter. I won't tell nobody I wrote your rhymes. I'll just take a huge chunk of your publishing.
Okay, last few questions. What do you have to say to people who...
3 years again, don't worry.
Yeah, 3 years again. What do you have to say?
How many minutes have we gone?
How many minutes?
Oh, it feels quick, huh?
Yeah, that's why. 40
Oh,
seconds.
yeah, I like talking to you guys. You guys are cool people. It felt like 10 minutes. Okay. Let's do a few more questions.
Yeah. What do you have to say to people who sometimes like upcoming rappers or whatever, right? Or maybe they want to do something that they want to do lah. They feel like I need to tap into the mainstream to get the audience. Like they have to they don't want to be original. They feel like I need to.
I get what you're saying. Like they have to be somebody else.
If a rapper says to me like I don't want to be original, I'll tell them go home.
Balik sudah.
Balik siot. Kau nak buat apa kat sini? Look, like that is actually, I understand where you're coming from. Like, okay, let's look at other people and how they became successful, and let's just try to follow their template. But if you come into the game like that, you're forever gonna be chasing a shadow.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, end of the day, what you want is originality.
Yes.
You need to be authentic because the consumer will see right through it.
Right.
You get what I mean? So, but there are other areas that, yes, you can mimic superstars. For instance, I'll let you, for instance, like, I work with this, sometimes we listen to tracks like, oh man, how come Dr. Dre's mixing sounds crazy? Because he sends it to this particular studio in LA, Bernie Grumman, for his mastering. Or like, back in the day, like maybe 8 years ago, I'm like, yo, how come Drake's sound is just so crisp? Because he sends his mastering to this mastering engineer called Chris Athens. what do? I hit up Chris Athens. Like, yo, can you master my stuff? You know, so mixing and mastering, these are all technical areas, you know, where it's like an F1 car. It's like getting a Ferrari engineer to come work on your car. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But you built this car yourself, though. You get me? So I would tell a new artist, like, okay, don't try to be a hero and aku nak tulis, aku nak buat beat, aku nak shoot video. Janganlah shoot video, kau tak reti shoot video. Hire a dope director to shoot your video. You get what I mean? Hire a dope mixing engineer to mix your music so it doesn't sound like you made it in your mom's closet. You get what I mean? Or hire a mastering engineer to make sure your sound is as polished, so when the DJ play it in the club, like when a Kendrick or a J. Cole song come out like that, your sound tak adalah mendak. Your sound is bright, you know. So a DJ can just mix it, boom, boom. So technical areas, yes. But when it comes to songwriting and a creative standpoint, you need to find your own sound, and you need to. That's how you're gonna stand out. If not, you see too many. Like that's the first thing. Like I had listened to this guy, up and coming R&B artist. I'm listening to him. I'm like, man, you're just trying to sound like Chris Brown, but Chris Brown is 10 times better than you. Like you're decent, but this guy is excellent. So like, what you trying to do, bro? You know what I mean? You will never be better than that guy if you're trying to copy him. You get what I mean? So it's just that. So just be yourself, be original, and if you need, always have, you need to. You cannot have just yes men around you or yes women. You got to be gender sensitive. For it, right or not? Like sometimes you be like, sedap tak lagu ni? Baik. Tapi mama tu memang hancur. Lagu kau memang tak baik pun, bro. But sometimes like, it's dope, it's dope. But no,
you gotta keep it real.
You gotta keep it real, bro. You need somebody in your crew that's like, it's alright, but it's not there yet.
Criticism.
You know what I mean? This beat is whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This sound like 2015. We need to find something that sound like 2030. You know what I mean? We need to always be cutting edge. And if you have, I want to say you need to have a dope team around you, but your team can consist of, the people you grew up with, like that guy in your crew that's always honest, that never, minces words, things like that.
Okay, sorry. One last question.
Sure.
I
Last
feel
question
like
for Muslim, huh?
Yeah, last question. Sorry.
Okay, one person, and then you go on last question. Okay.
I'm happy to.
Okay. This one we go sidetrack a bit, off topic a bit.
Okay.
I feel like you got this question a lot, but I just feel the need to ask you again. Drake or Kendrick?
He already answered in his story.
I'll tell you.
Is it?
Yes.
No, it's okay.
Oh, Hans Zimmer.
I'll tell you my answer. Okay. Hans Zimmer, you go to the gym, Hans Zimmer will take you to deep waters, my friend.
I agree.
Yo, Drake or Kendrick?
Okay, I'm not
Andre
saying,
3000, that's the answer. That's the dopest MC in my books. You know what I mean? No. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about this beef, but
I'm not
Hey,
talking about the rap beat,
like,
but
okay.
as an artist. I mean,
okay, I'll be real with you. Like, I'm not a big Drake fan, but certain Drake songs come on, like, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Let's
Like,
go.
you can just like, okay, let's go. Kendrick, I loved his early albums. I like Section 80. I like, Don't kill my vibe. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not really a fan of super duper like intricate, like blah, 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 intense Kendrick.
Aggressive.
I'm more like a fan of
Like a
Mellow.
early Kendrick.
Oh, okay.
You get what I mean? So, but obviously as an MC, Kendrick is Kendrick is an MC.
Yeah.
Drake is a rapper. You get what I mean? So, but Drake knows how to make hits.
Yes.
You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
So and certain songs, like you're gonna say what you're gonna say. When the song come on and the shorties be on the dance floor dancing, you gonna get your, like,
That's why.
oh, itu kau cakap, kau tak suka ni.
Yeah.
Diorang joget, kau pun sama naik kan. So but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean both are dope artists. You know,
see.
it's just I'm not really a fan of the rap beef.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because I feel it's trivial. You know, like come on. You know what I mean? No need to beef lah. Too
Yeah,
much,
honestly,
you know?
same.
Stay
Okay.
vegan.
Last question. I want to know whether there is a quote you live by.
Yeah,
Okay, what is
a
it?
few. I mean, I have a quote. Probably a quote for a particular situation. Probably I have a go-to quote. But do I have a quote per se? Man, you caught me off guard with this one.
Yay! Just something maybe in general that you apply to life.
Man, a lot, so many. But I think like one of them would be from a business point of view, maybe like 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. You get what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes you go into something and be like, man, I want to do this alone. I don't want to have no partners. I want to get all the profits myself. But then it'll be me against the world type thing. And then you look next to you, then, oh shit, no one's helping me. No one's going to fight with me. No one's going to bleed and die with me. You get what I mean? You know, so a few things in life, you got to like this podcast you guys have. You know what I mean? You can't have that mindset. You guys are in it together, right? You know what I mean? So 50% or 33.3% or something is better than 100% or nothing.
That's
Right?
good advice.
Also, you miss back to, I got to keep it in topic, 100% of it. You miss 100% of the chances you don't take,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
True.
And a miss is as good as a mile. Some say, alamak sikit lagi ya. Tak ada, tak masuk bro. Lu faham tak? Like, gua shoot apa tapi sikit, kalau sini sikit masuk. Tak masuk bro.
Yes.
Jadi kalau kau tendang kena corner flag pun, sama. Dua-dua tak masuk. bro.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
So that's, so these are a few of many quotes. Yeah.
Those are nice quotes.
Yeah.
Right.
Very lovely.
There you have it, guys. I wish we have a lot of more time.
Yo, man.
Damn, son.
Come hang out, man. You know what I mean? Take me to that nasi lemak spot and we can talk more.
Okay, we will.
But yeah, again, to all Singaporeans, you know,
Yeah.
I love Singaporean food. Like, I'm going to go to Tekka in a while and have the best rojak in the world, Haji Johan.
One for
Tell him
Singapore.
Flizzow send you. Tell him this Johan send you to Haji Johan.
Let's go.
Tell the guy, his name is Hatta. He cuts the rojak like.
Oh, you know the uncle's name?
Bro, it's not uncle, he's like the homie, man.
Homie, not uncle.
But like, I'm the uncle for you guys, But like every time he cut the rojak, gua takut dia terpotong tangan dia boleh.
No look,
Too fast, too fast.
But yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you so
Alright,
much
no
for
problem,
being
man.
Been dope, Sejam went really quick.
Yeah.
very fast.
Alright, guys. There you have it, guys. Thank you very much, Joe. Flizzow, once again, it's an honor
Peace
to
and love,
have you
man.
on the show. And yeah, guys, don't forget, 5th July, his show will be at Star Theatre.
No doubt.
Tickets is still available.
Bring the whole family.
Yeah. Let's go, guys. Thank you, Joe, once again.
Peace.
See you guys next time. Peace.